Let's get into Hugh, Croskery, and Zackery. It says here she saved US $80,000 for her daughter's future, and then it was gone. Mighty God. What's up?
Discover more.
Emotional damage.
Auto reviews. Mary Jane's asterisk 12-year-old daughter has Down syndrome, is autistic and cognitively delayed, and will require medical care for the rest of her life. Determined to provide for her daughter's future, the retired Jamaican entrepreneur, now living in the United States, had built a $80,000 nest egg by 2021 to cover her future medical needs. She began exploring short-term investments as a way to increase her savings, and that's when a friend introduced her to Delta Capital Partners, Jane recounted during an interview with the Sunday Gleaner last Wednesday. I went online and their website was very detailed, very professionally done, and I was impressed, she said of her efforts to learn more about the company. Still, Jane wanted to be extra cautious and claimed she asked to meet with then Delta Capital executives Zackery, Anthony Dunn, and Ivan Carter. The retired businesswoman said she was still a little unsure after several conversations with each executive, but opted to go ahead and invest her nest egg with the St. Lucia-based Delta Capital after disclosing to them the reason she was saving the money and delivering a stern warning. A promissory note seen by the Sunday Gleaner indicated that it was issued on November 18, 2021, would mature on May 18, 2023, and guaranteed an annual interest rate of 8.5%. The name Anthony Dunn and what appeared to be a signature for Harding were also on the document. I said to them, please, do not invest it in any kind of risky business, Jane recounted.
The lady is not really Jane. That's just a name that they gave her in the article. But November 18, 2021, that's the date on the document that they actually saw. And it appears as if Mr. Harding's signature was on there and Anthony Dunn's name was there. Alright? That is important to note, ladies and gentlemen. And the lady said, please do not invest in any kind of risky business. Also, we have to remember that her daughter is autistic and cognitively delayed and will require medical care for the rest of her life. We just want to know if you get the context. And it's US $80,000. A nest egg that Mary Jane Asterich had for the very purpose of her daughter medical care that she's going to need for the rest of her life. Let's continue. She said, do not invest in anything risky. Let's continue.
Recounted. I was very clear with them. I said, I have an option of investing here in the United States or with you guys in Jamaica. And this is the part that hurts me the most. I said to them, I would rather trust my own Jamaicans with my money than some Americans, she added. The Delta Capital executives were very convincing as they sought to assure her that there was nothing to worry about, Jane claimed. We are not in the business of taking risks, she claimed, one of the executives said. The Sunday Gleaner contacted Dunn on Friday, and he offered no comment on the record. Discover more. The Sunday Gleaner also sought a response from Harding to the assertions made by Jane, but he directed questions to his attorney, Deborah Martin. When contacted on Friday, Martin declined to comment, citing the criminal charges pending against her client and Delta Capital. She said the question of legal representation has not yet been settled for Delta Capital, and until then, I would not wish to speak, and I prefer that he not speak in his personal capacity on matters touching and concerning Delta Capital in circumstances where they are both before court. In other words, I would wish to fully understand the issues before I commented on them, said Martin. Jane told the Sunday Gleaner that, up to a week after the maturity date, there was no payment from the company and everything just fell apart right there.
So, you know that's what they're going to do, right? So, the last part here, up to a week after the mature date. What is the mature date? The mature date is now May 18th, 2023. Because that's what it says here. It would mature May 18th, 2023. And then right here, so it says, up to a week after the mature date, there was no payment from the company. And everything just fell apart right there. Alright, let's continue.
There. Several missed payment deadlines. During the interview last week and in a complaint filed with the Financial Services Commission, FSC, she said, after several missed payment deadlines and as a compromise to allow the company more time, a new promissory note was negotiated. The second promissory note, which guaranteed an annual interest rate of 10%, was issued on July 1, 2023, and was set to mature on October 2 that year, according to documents seen by the Sunday Gleaner. The FSC is Jamaica's regulatory authority for the securities, insurance, and private pensions industries. To my surprise, disappointment, and disgust, this matured note has not been repaid and Harding is still not able to indicate its repayment, Jane said in a complaint filed with the FSC on October 9, 2023. The response from the FSC opened a can of worms. In a letter to Jane dated June 16, 2025, the regulatory body disclosed that its investigations uncovered evidence that promissory notes were brokered by Stocks and Securities Limited, SSL, and issued in the name of Delta Capital.
Whoa, yo, yo, yo. We need help, Jesus. Jamaica need help. Shift the parliament. Shift the election. Shift everything. Remove them out there. Take out the cockroach. Take out the thief. Take out the criminal them. Take out the thief them. Take out the murderer them. Take out the gang leader them. Out of parliament. Take them out. From Portland, take them out. I hear Portland. Me I go to Portland. Why me I travel to Portland? Take out somebody, man or woman.
You know, I am wondering if this is the prophecy coming to manifestation that Apostle Jeffrey Shuttleworth put out and other prophets, that the very wealthy that are in wrong things, extracurricular activity, God is going to attack them with precision. What a bangaram this, man. In a letter dated June 16, 2025, the regulator body disclosed that the investigation uncovered evidence that the promissory notes were brokered by Stocks and Securities Limited SSL and issued in the name of Delta Capital. What does brokered mean? I could get tonight. Brokered. Meaning, because we're not going to go on like so we know in Jamaica. Brokered means having a deal, agreement or arrangement negotiated and set up by a middleman or intermediary. So SSL was the middleman, ladies and gentlemen. Bolo.
Ball out! Whoa, yo, yo, yo. We need help, Jesus.
Let's continue. Just remember, say SSL was the middleman, you know. And hear what they say about SSL in the next paragraph.
SSL is the Jamaican investment firm that collapsed in January 2023 amid and firm that collapsed in January 2023 amid allegations of fraudulent activities amounting to $3 billion that affected the accounts of over 200 clients, including Jamaican sprint legend Usain Bolt. Harding served as Chief Executive Officer of SSL between 2019 and 2022 before co-founding Delta Capital. The FSC said in the letter that its investigation focused on SSL's alleged role in arranging, issuing, and distributing unregistered securities by SSL, affiliates of SSL, and other related entities. It alleged that this was in the form of promissory notes, convertible loan agreements, and shareholder loan agreements with varying rates of interest and maturity dates, which is in contravention of the securities legislation. The regulatory body signaled, too, that like Jane, there were other investors awaiting the return of their principal and interest payments. The findings of our investigation have confirmed that SSL and other issuers have missed several interest payments that were due to investors, and that, notwithstanding several promises, they have either failed to make interest payments or repay the sums owed. It said. Joint probe.
Jamaica. Justice. Justice. There will be justice. There will be justice, Jamaica. Just remember that. There will be justice, man.
Probe. The FSC disclosed that a joint probe by the Financial Investigations Division, FID, and the police into allegations of fraud at Delta Capital and its affiliated companies was well advanced. In the normal course of operation, complaints submitted to the FSC would have been dealt with individually. However, in this instance, due to the scope of the investigation being conducted, your individual complaint file is now closed as the matter has been subsumed into our investigation into SSL and its affiliated companies, the regulatory body wrote to Jane. The FID confirmed last Thursday that no criminal charges have been filed against Harding in relation to Jane's complaint.
The FID with Dennis Strong head. Hey, I got on time, you know. Got on time, Debbie. Marcia, Colleen, I got on time. Apostle Jeffrey shot to work. I go play the video for you. I'm going to see if I can find it still. Because when him say, God is going to attack the wealthy people with precision. The way I'm going to take them down, you're going to know say I got to take them down. The one them in a beer bangarang, yeah man, in a Jamaica. Yeah man.
Complaint. However, Harding, along with former SSL founding director Hugh Croskery and his daughter Sarah Meany, a former SSL branch manager, is awaiting trial on multiple criminal charges related to the operations of SSL and Delta Capital. Jane won a legal victory in March this year when a lawsuit she filed against Delta Capital ended with an order from the painful to me and heartbreaking Supreme Court. Rider from the Supreme Court that an order from the Supreme Court that the company pay her $101,547 approximately JMD 16 million, with interest to be calculated at 3% per annum until the payment is made. Delta Capital did not file a defense to the lawsuit. The retired entrepreneur acknowledged that she may never get her money back, but insisted, "I am not going to walk away from it so easily. If I am not going to get my money back, somebody must be put in jail. It is very painful to me and heartbreaking," she said.
So, Jane won a legal victory in March this year when the lawsuit she filed against Delta Capital ended with an order from the Supreme Court that the company pay her US $101,547, approximately 16 million Jamaican, with interest to be calculated at 3% per annum until the payment is made. So, what I'm understanding from this is that's the money she get. But every year, because per annum, annually, 3% interest I go upon her money. The end of it stated that, you know, she now walk away from her money. You understand? So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Delta Capital, SSL, all the same. They're at it again. You Croskery and what name? You Zackery Harding and the rest of them. Next month name will come up on this Anthony Dunn. Anthony Dunn, me see? Where they? Yes, Anthony Dunn. Yes, ladies and gentlemen. And when you go back at the top here, it says they promised her guaranteed annual interest of 8.5%. Now, if we should do some math, right? 80,000 US, yes? Let's go do the math. 80,000 US, 2021. The interest rate was 8.5% in 2 years. Let's see how that would look. Let's see how that would look. 80,000. So 1% of that would be 800. And then you times that by 8.5%. And you get 6,800. So you add that to 80,000. That will be 86,800 US. And then we could go down again now because they had missed that payment. They had missed that payment. And it says here the second promissory note guaranteed 10% on July 1st, 2023. Up till October 2nd of that year, it would mature. So that would be October 2nd, 2023, which obviously got a long time from 3 years ago. So 10% of 86,000. 86,800. Yeah. 86,800. That would be 868 times by 10. Which would be 8,680 added to 8. God have mercy, what are 8,680 plus 86,800 plus 8,680. 95,480. Judge then do a good job in terms of adding on money to what you would have actually gotten. So the 101, that's how I calculate, you know. The 101,000 what the judge said she forget. I mean, it's adequate. It's actually adequate. And then the terms that she added onto it in terms of the 3% per annum, I don't know. Maybe she should have turned it up. What going to read that? Maybe she should have turned it up a little bit on them. But hey, it is what it is. Big up the judge. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section, ladies and gentlemen. The ghost of SSL is back, creating havoc in people's lives. Somebody said, just like cancer, try to take up the citizen's body. Wake up die-hearted before October. I never law pass, but put God as a rescue us from the hands of Andrew. Put God first, definitely. Only God alone can rescue you from fear. You understand? Only God alone, ladies and gentlemen. You don't want to think in our comment section. The ghost of SSL, I mean Delta, I mean SSL, I don't know what to say. Zackery Harding and Hugh Croskery has made the news again, ladies and gentlemen. Not in a flattering way. Yet another alleged victim. Well, we can't even say alleged because she win a case and it's on record. And we've seen a pattern. Yes? I think that is safe to say that we're seeing a pattern. You know them say? You have to watch patterns. If every time you got somebody a specific thing happen to you, what going Claudette? Curious what's up? Where old people always say, if you're going a full, if you're not going a full cook, then can't do it. Alright. Well, in terms of the house of business, where Zackery Harding and Hugh Croskery is concerned, anything them have them handspan, I would never want to be a part of it. Anything with them involved in, we have to do with taking my money to invest any type of nothing. I don't want, I don't tell you what to do, you know. Me, I learn from everybody else's mistake and me, I watch a pattern. You understand what me I say? Take sleep, mark that Jamaica, I best, and everybody. You know what the lady said in the article? She has said, boy, you know, she want to, you know, invest with our brothers, our Jamaican people. You remember who was pushing SSL, which politician was pushing SSL? Make a certain track star felt confident. You remember? Okay. I want to remember how for them money was conveniently not lost. You remember? Take sleep, mark that Jamaica. You see what happened? In this new case now with another friend of Andrew Owens, which is William Dushi and Savada, or whatever I want him, the Indian brother. Jamaica take sleep, mark death. That's all I can tell you. You must wise up now, man. Wise up and stop make, you know, you wanna know what I mean?